I'm Luke Ratcliffe, and today is Wednesday, the 3rd of December, and this is my video diary for Interim Project 1. My backstage role for this interim project was the set designer, and I worked well with the team of actors that I was performing with, because I listened to them and what their ideas on the set, what they wanted, how they understood the musical that we were doing, as coupled up with what I understood from watching the musical and doing my research on the musical and the kind of set that we would need, what scenes we were doing, what scenarios we'd be in, how easily the cast would get around the set, whether it was available to us. And early on in the rehearsal process, I asked for that information, whether the set would be available to us, and it thankfully was. I worked well with the director to understand their vision of what they wanted, what they needed in a scene, and throughout the performance, how they wanted to push across their vision. And I feel like I appreciated the hard work and the dedication that goes into to a backstage role, and how important it is and how detailed it has to be to bring a production together, no matter how big the production is. I think it was very important to our production that everyone in the team was working to the best of their ability, because I think our performance looked really fluid and really nice in the end, because everyone had done their work and researched well and planned everything out. Secondly, for the next project, I would like to explore the backstage role of the director and the production manager. I think that the director would boost my confidence. I think I'd be going out of my comfort zone, because I find that that's something that would be quite scary, something that I wouldn't normally want to do, but I think I'd be challenged to do that, and I think that would be good for me. And the production manager is a role that I took up in a performance during first year, and I really enjoyed the planning out of the rehearsal schedule, that making sure that everyone was where they should be, giving us a good plan for when we were going to do things, how we were going to do it, what we were going to get done in that rehearsal period. And I found that a really fulfilling role, and something that was very important in our production, and something that helped my planning skills and organisational skills get better as well. So I learned a lot from that role. So I'd like to take up either of those roles for children's theatre. The first of the two techniques that I used to improve my acting ability was pause and silence. When we were taught this technique, straight away I felt that it helped me in monologues, or any dialogue really, any duologue, because I could kind of get every moment of tension and suspense out of dialogue, and I could really section it off. I wasn't delivering it too quick. I could focus my energy into different things. I could focus more on my gesture, and I was more calm in the vocal side of acting, and I could concentrate on the other parts. And I found that really, really helpful straight away as soon as we got taught that. And the second technique is monologuing. I believe understanding the lyrics in a different way, and writing them out in a different way for songs, and sort of punctuating them differently, and getting another vision of the monologue or song is really helpful. I believe that as soon as we learnt that, I found that really helpful, and in the lesson when we were researching that and applying that technique, I knew that moving on into Interim Project 1, that would be a technique that I could use, and moving on into our next project, that'll be another technique that I'll definitely use, and I found it very helpful to apply them. As a group, we managed to share our ideas really well, and everyone listened, and everyone was very respectful, and we had a good environment amongst our group. People weren't interrupting each other, people were raising their hands, people were getting their ideas across. We weren't just discarding ideas, we were taking them on board and thinking about them and researching them and talking about them as a team. And everybody had time to discuss what they wanted in our production, and everybody asked lots of questions, and even if people weren't asking questions in a certain rehearsal or a lesson, we would say, have you got any input, have you got anything to say? And it was a really respectful environment, and I think our ideas were shared, not only for the creative side of the production, but for the backstage role side of the production. People, the director had their things to say, and the production manager had their things to say, and the stage manager did. Me as the set designer had things to say, but also ideas for what we were going to do that they were conveyed really nicely, and everybody listened to it. It was a nice environment. If I was to improve collaboration for our next project, I would try and make sure that the rehearsal environment is respectful from the start, and I would do my best to try and listen and give everyone time, to continue giving everyone time and listen and be respectful. I think I would also, something for me personally and something for groups that I've been in with before, I think I would try to make sure that as a group we're arranging our rehearsal times better. We're planning days that we're definitely going to stick to. We're not going to say, oh no, we're doing something else today, let's rehearse tomorrow, let's find some time tomorrow, and then not do something, or be behind schedule. Let's take advantage of our rehearsal time and from the get-go get on it, produce a good performance that's not lag behind, learn everything we need to, and just do our very best from the start.
Regina George is a hot writer. I remember this one time she took me on the road and she said, Damien, you can't come to my pool party because you're too gay to function. That's the thing with the They think everybody loves them and everybody hates them. They think their shit don't stink and everybody